Welcome back to the Obi Thorn Alliance, and in today's video we're doing So What Have You Been Watching? Comment down below what you've been watching and like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and stay tuned to what we've been watching.
So we're in the month of May.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done one of these videos. You kick us off, Jacob. What's something you've been watching in the last month or so?
The first show is actually our Australian limited series called Stateless, what is a show about immigration and the morals between how hard it is for immigrants to get into a country and how easy it is for someone to actually find themselves in immigration in camps and things like that.
Okay, where can we find this show?
Netflix.
Okay, is this recent? I haven't heard of it.
It came out in 2020, so it's decently old.
Okay, as you know, I've been really into watching Australian shows. Is it worth watching? Would I like it?
Yeah, I think it's worth watching. It has 6 episodes. It's a quick watch. High caliber cast acting. Kate Blanchett is in it. Quite a lot of high caliber actors and actresses.
Okay, I was about to ask who would be in it that I'd know, but you answered that question already. Compared to other Australian limited series, where's it rank up there?
Oh, definitely at the top. It has a good storyline. It shows different perspectives between the other side of other cultures trying to get to Australian, and someone, even though they're Australian, getting into immigration because they actually stolen someone's identity, so identity theft, and for whatever reason to themselves, they didn't say they were Australian, then they were in a camp for so many years.
Oh, sounds really good.
So what have you been watching?
So on that same theme, I've been watching also watching an Australian limited series. This one's called The 12. So also a very star-studded cast. We've got Matt Nable for one, stands out. We've got, can't put my name on.
Sam Neill?
Sam Neill, that's the one. Sam Neill's probably the most worldwide noticeable. And it's a really star-studded cast. As the name implies, it's about 12 people. So in this case, it's jury members. Coincidentally, there's actually 14 of them. That's the whole part of the show. But they've been asked to be the jury members of a murder case where a young girl, 14-year-old, has gone missing, presumed dead. 2 years later, the aunt is now on trial for murder. The body has never been found, so that's a part of the case. And it goes to show not only following the case and trying to solve it, but each of these 14 jury members and their kind of story and things that are going on in their lives. Some corrupt, some might partially involved with have intertwinings with the crime itself, personal life problems. It's just very entertaining. The ending wasn't as satisfying as I would have liked, but I was gripped the whole way through and really enjoyed seeing the different sceneries and trying to pick where it had been filmed, because some of it had actually been filmed on the Gold Coast where we're from, so it was cool to try and pick out where that was.
Would you say this show gets the story right, or is this more of a character, or is this more of who is the person on trial innocent, or where's the main focus going?
The main focus is definitely trying to work out if the main person is innocent or guilty, and if it's not them, could it be someone else? And that's very much the main focus of it, and that's kind of where I get left unsatisfied with the conclusion we get in the end. I'm not going to give it away, but I didn't like how it ended. It doesn't mean the show was poor. The ending could have been a little bit different, and I think the show would have been really nailed, but I was gripped the whole way through, so it did what it was intended. Yeah, I guess you can't be if this was a true story, which it's not, you couldn't be unhappy if that just happened to be the verdict and what happened. You go, well, that's what they chose. So yeah, it's an interesting show. What else have you been watching?
On Netflix, The Diplomat, what is a ambassador political show. The main character is a ambassador for Afghanistan, and then she gets a new mission to become ambassador to England because a crisis happened. A ship in London gets burnt and 41 Englishmen pass away, and then America wants her to go to England because they want her to become the vice president, and then a lot of intrigue, political intrigue. So if you like The West Wing, Homeland and Designated Survivor, you'll probably like this show, and it is getting a season 2. There is a cliffhanger with its ending, but there's a season 2, so yeah.
Do you need to have an interest in politics to like this as an intellectual to follow it, or it can just be entertaining in itself?
I guess you do, but the main mystery of who actually bombed the ship keeps you engaged long enough, but it does end in a cliffhanger, so if you don't like sort of cliffhanger endings, you might find it frustrating.
And where's this, what streaming service?
Netflix.
Okay, another Netflix one. Any notable actors or actresses in it?
Kurt.
Okay, no worries. Well, I don't know if it's for me, but how do you rate it compared to other shows? You mentioned The West Wing and Designated Survivor. How's it compared to them?
I would say it's high class show. It's probably my favorite show on Netflix. Original series of this year. I think it's high caliber show.
Okay, and knowing with Netflix, they say it's a second season. Anything can happen with Netflix.
Yes.
Okay. So something else I've been watching, it's not finished. There's a new episode coming out every Thursday. It's Love and Death. So this is on Binge in Australia. In America, I think it might be on something like that, the networks. But in Australia, it's on Binge. It's following a true story of set in Texas in the 1980s, where who I thought was murdered was actually wrong. So I was sitting on the edge of my seat expecting something to happen, and we got thrown a curveball. But basically, there's two couples. They're friends of each other. Husband and wife decide to have an affair and be unfaithful to their partners, and someone finds out, and then it ends in murder with an axe. So only being about halfway through the series because more episodes are coming out. The rest, I believe, from the trailer is going to follow the trial and trying to work out who was guilty and how it happened. But it's gripped me so far following the way that they go about this affair. It's quite entertaining. It's just a different show. I like seeing the time when it's set in the 80s, and it actually has a really cast. So it has Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wonder Witch in the WandaVision and throughout the MCU. And then the man that she has an affair with, his name, it's hard to pronounce, I can't remember it exactly, but he's recognizable from playing the kind of like a Nazi character in the Jungle Cruise movie that had Rock in it. And he's in quite a few other things. I said to Jacob off camera, I think that they embellished some of the story to make it interesting, but it's working. I'm gripped. I'm waiting for the next episode. I want to see what's happening. Limited series, true story. It ticks a lot of boxes for me.
Do you think they cast the main character well? Do you think because of her fame from Marvel she got the job, or she's a good enough actress that she got the job on her own merit?
I think she plays the role perfectly. Her character's meant to be just a little bit crazy, a little bit reckless. She's meant to be attractive. She ticks a lot of boxes, and I actually think she's a very talented actress. The person that they've selected to play her love interest that she has an affair on, I don't know what they look like in real life. I'd have to look them up, but in terms of their attractiveness, they're like well out of proportion.
She's like a 9 or 8.
Yeah, it's a bit odd, but I'm not saying that wouldn't happen, but the way that the show goes, or supposedly happened in real life, she was extremely attracted to him and obsessed with him and pursued him to have an affair. And I'm very surprised by looking at the discrepancy between them in looks, but it's just me. That's other people may think differently, but it seems like I don't know if that's how it would have went in real life or whether their looks were actually that far apart. Like, I think maybe they'd picked Elizabeth Olsen and she's far more attractive than the person she's meant to be portraying in this show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good watch. So far, it's not finished yet, so what else have you been watching?
The next show is also a Netflix original series, but it's British. It has 4 episodes. You Don't Know Me, what's basically a court drama as well as the 12, but unlike the 12, we don't know anything about the jury. That isn't the main focus. It's basically from 2 perspectives. The crime is already happening, but the person is telling why he's committed the crime, and basically we go back in time from why he's telling the jury and the audience of what the story is happened, So within the 4 episodes, we get quite a lot of clever twists and turns, what happens with the story. There are two endings with it, and it doesn't give you a clear ending, but I guess it didn't need to because life isn't always clear. But I really liked the show, but the two other shows I mentioned I thought were better than this one.
Okay, what attracted you to this show in the beginning?
They only had 4 episodes, and I knew it was a limited series.
Yeah, I'm the same. I find that when things had those, it ticks a lot of boxes, and it's what's the worst that can happen? I may as well give it a watch. Well, you haven't seen the 12, so I was going to say, how does it compare to that? Or how does it compare to other shows in a similar genre? Have you seen anything else like it, or it's completely unique?
I think it's different because I can't think of a show that someone's on trial and then we see what's happened before. I think it's different in that aspect. Obviously, we've seen trials before, but I think it's very different with the crimes already happened and then we're seeing.
Awesome, I might give that a watch. I do see limited series and crime dramas.
It is British though.
You do tend to like British shows a lot
do.
more than I do. I've been off put by them. Maybe this might be different. Maybe I'll give it a watch. Okay, moving on to my next show. So you've watched 3 from Netflix. I've had 2 from Binge. So I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go Disney Plus this time. So I started watching a show called Young Jedi Adventures. So I've been watching this because of my little son. I wanted to get him into Star Wars and showing this. This is a show that came out aligned with May the 4th. It was like Star Wars Day. They released a lot of new Star Wars content, announced new Star Wars content on that day. So this show is an animated series in the kind of animated style of Clone Wars, but way less serious, more fun. So it follows a group of young Jedis going out on very childish-like adventures, ordering people with lightsabers and getting in really intense battles. They're little tiny kids basically, and it's just a good way to get young kids involved. My son really likes Buzz Lightyear, so this was kind of a transition going, oh, they're in the spaceships and they're like space rangers, and he caught onto the idea and quite liked it. So I think Star Wars is onto a winner here, attracting a younger audience that will then grow into maybe the Clone Wars being the next step when they get a bit older, to eventually watching live action versions of Star Wars. So it's clever. I think it's very clever by Star Wars.
Did it provide some entertainment for you to watch with your son?
Yeah, I don't think it's something I would watch if I didn't have someone little to watch it with, because it is definitely dulled down and a bit more childish. It has the draw card of Yoda being their Jedi Master, and very, very fun. There's a similar show they've done with Disney Plus with Jurassic Park, where, again, they've made it for a kid's audience, and it's kind of in that same vein. I think they've done well to bring nostalgia and interest from adult perspective to go, oh, I want my child to watch this because I really like the original franchise, and it has a good draw card in that. So I wouldn't watch it by myself, but in terms of watching with him, there's something in there to enjoy for me, and obviously he really loves it. So it's a good winner if you've got young kids to watch.
The last thing that I've watched also on Netflix is The Hunting, other Australian show that went for 4 episodes. And this tackles social internet issues with sharing photos and sharing things throughout the internet, how bad it can be and who you can trust. And once it goes on the internet, it isn't really gone. Really enjoyed the concept of that. Unfortunately, it had so many storylines and threads. The ending was not satisfying at all, but really enjoyed the message. I really liked what they were trying to say with that you can't really trust the internet and things going on, because the main thing was males would send out like photos of girls and girls would send photos, and then it would get to like this local site, unfortunately, and then things escalated from there. And yeah.
Okay, and where can we find this on?
Netflix.
So 4 Netflix shows. Yeah. Is there anything I could compare this to, something I may have seen?
The Hunting, unless you've seen a show that deals with cyber crimes or cyber... not really?
No, not really. It is Is it a unique concept, did you find?
I think so.
And, okay, interesting. Any notable actors or actresses in it?
You'd probably recognise one. She was also in The Stateless.
Okay, and where's this show set?
Australia.
Oh, another Australian one, okay.
2 Australian shows, yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Is it recent?
2019.
Okay, and limited series, you're not getting any more, I'm guessing?
No.
Where does it compare to the other other three shows you've watched?
Down the bottom, because I found the ending very unsatisfying and really it fizzed out.
Would you recommend it then, knowing that it fizzed out, or don't waste your time?
I'd still recommend it for the message of internet and cybercrime, but the ending kind of detracts from it.
Okay.
It was that bad, yeah.
I didn't realise there was so many Australian shows on Netflix that are limited series. Is there anything you're looking forward to that's coming out?
Guardians of Galaxy 3, definitely.
So that's something we'll probably talk about next one of these videos, and we'll probably review it as well. Anything else coming out? I'm trying to think what there is at the movies.
The Flash?
Yeah, you reacted to the Flash trailer, so check that out. Which one are you more excited for, Guardians or the Flash?
Probably the Flash, I think, yeah.
I'm agreeing with you on that. I think the Guardians will probably be better, but the Flash has something unique about it. It's like it has a different feel. I think the Guardians, you're going to get what you expect, and it's going to be good, but the Flash has the chance to surprise us.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Like I said, comment down below what shows what you've been watching lately. As always, you're awesome and keep being awesome. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.